Where? What did you post?
I'm so sad.
On her Insta. Oh yes, what? El Clasico. No. Wait.
He's having so much fun.
Stadium when I was there.
Okay.
So that I was so jealous in my spirit. I was like,
You're nice.
my chest. Oh, has she put on her Instagram?
Yes.
Wanda is a fine girl.
Bana, the logo.
Such a fine girl.
How far away was she?
I didn't see how close she was, but she was in the stadium.
That's
That's all I was thinking. Yes, she was. That's what, exactly.
Like she's where you can point to her now from here.
She's in the box.
Yeah,
she's in the box.
So nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, this picture. Essence now. Oh God. Sorry. This one.
No, not that. No, that one is her album, her last work.
Which
no, I was talking about the series.
Oh yes, I know.
So
Yes,
cool.
no. Oh,
But this latest one, Shad, I was talking about this one that she's holding the.
This one.
Yeah. So nice.
Gorgeous. Having our best time.
Yep.
Living our best life.
Yeah, she was like on Thursday morning I was just casually cooking for a few friends coming over. Then on Sunday I found myself at Camp Nou Stadium watching Barcelona Real Madrid. Some days life is just epic. My sister. Some days life is just
We're living
epic.
vicariously through her, man.
It's okay. That's how I felt when I watched that Kini final. I was so excited.
Every serve you every corner you take, every fighter you meet, every record you beat, we will be following you
everywhere.
every signature, every trophy won, every wicket you break, every breakaway you make, every cross, every dunk.
I need some more soup in that warm cup.
Every wisdom, every loss, every victory, every single
Studio.
sport, we
Mics are up.
will be watching.
Welcome inside the locker room.
It's Monday morning, 8:15 is the time you get to hear the very best of sports inside of the locker room. And here to champion the cause, it's Tega Supreme. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm awake now. Yes. Good morning.
Hi, how you doing?
I'll be better.
All right, yeah. Okay, cool.
Once this tiny irritation goes, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Better
Ladies, we don't know what she's talking about, but yeah, it's fine.
It
I'm
will
not
go
like
to the both of you.
No, I reject
No, we
it.
do
To
reject
both of you.
Vehemently.
Lagos, as we jump into sports conversation inside the locker room, do remember that we are streaming on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/smooth981fm. Also, start using that hashtag lockerroom981 because we are going to be talking about all the top sporting stories over the weekend. El Clasico, Arsene Wenger, a number of things went down. And last but not least, make sure you send us your messages to our WhatsApp number 0809 444 0981.
The first set of stories actually talking about Toronto Raptors. The star, DeRozan, if I got it right, was frustrated that he was benched for the final 14 minutes of his team's 105-103 defeat in Game 3 against Cleveland Cavaliers on Saturday. In his words, it's extremely hard. I just want to be out there helping my team way more than anything. It definitely sucks to be watching. We've got to give credit to those guys. We fought hard and gave ourselves a chance to win. In the moment, it definitely sucks, especially on top of us losing. You never want to have a poor game like I had. He continues, I've got another game, got another opportunity. That's all that matters.
Really? Yeah, looking for one more game. You didn't play game 1, 2, 3. It's game 4 that you want to play.
He's trying to pick himself up now.
But here, it was just ridiculous. I think what happened was, Cavs coach, they don't mind Lowry just scoring, but they mind DeRozan and Lowry scoring at the same time, which meant that they were going to have a lot of problems. So every time he got the ball, he had 2 people on him. So he shot, I think he scored only 8 points on the night. He had 3 of 12 shots, and the coach just said, you know what, they're double teaming you, just sit down. And so he sat for the last 40, and it is painful. If you ask me, I'd leave him on the floor, because here's what happens. The game is so close and so tight. It's 5.7 seconds left on the shot clock, and the one thing you do not want to do is let LeBron have the ball. Now, DeRozan may not have been scoring very well on the night, but he's also good defensively. The one person you should not, 5.7 seconds on the clock, do not let J.R. Smith stay on the perimeter. Do not let LeBron hold the ball. That's what they needed to do. They needed to force LeBron to either pass the ball to somebody that wasn't Gerald Smith on the perimeter or just run the shot clock down. Unfortunately, the person that was guarding LeBron allowed him to run and have a clutch moment. LeBron scored the winner at the buzzer. Not the first time in history, not the second time, third time, fourth time, or fifth time.
Just grab his legs.
It's
not move again.
It's the 1-0-2 plan that everybody from the Miami Heat when LeBron was there to the Cleveland Cavaliers knows. Do not give him the ball. Force him to pass or force him to turn over the ball. Just do not let him take the shot. And that was it. And that's how they're now 3 games down. It's over. The series is over. There's no way they're coming back from it. This was the closest game. They had the opportunity to maybe push it to overtime. I mean, to maybe just find a way to extend.
The only chance.
Nothing. I think that game 4 will just be another walkover because for some reason Kevin Love hasn't been playing well all through the playoff season. But against Toronto Raptors, he has wings. He can fly. And it's like every Cleveland Cavalier player just knows how to play against Toronto Raptors. So in fact, this is another matchup I don't want to see again. I don't want to see the Raptors versus the Cavs. It's over.
Did you lose sleep?
It was a little earlier. What it is that you look at that. You just look at the matchup and you know that Cavs are going to win. I mean, even if LeBron hopped into on the court with crutches, I think he'll still be able to beat Toronto Raptors.
Somehow.
That's how bad it is. This is not basketball. This is mental slavery. I've said it before. There's a mental block against the Cavs that regardless of the form that the Raptors are in, once they get to the Cavs, they just fall apart. That's what it is. So I don't want to see this matchup ever again. I can't wait for another match. Just go away. Okay. In other news, Golden State Warriors are now 3-1 up. They beat New Orleans Pelicans yesterday, and Houston Rockets are now 3-1 up. Like I said, in the West, I'm just waiting to see Houston versus Golden State Warriors. Everybody else just pack your load.
I mean, and only slightly related news. Is it strange that every time I hear Larry, I start playing the Bad Boys theme song? I'm like, I'm like, Larry.
He would have made it too. He just a little.
All right, let's move on. So CSK coach Victor Goncharenko has told Ahmed Musa to up his game as he's not playing to his potential. He said there will be no praise for Musa, in my opinion. For the time being, he does not fully use his strong qualities. I'm not trying to press on him again. He knows that he can play better. Musa has to make more progress. And considering that we have a small squad, my main task as a coach is to pull out of the players everything they can do for the team. Now, Musa had a public row with Goncharenko last month when, after being substituted, he refused to shake the manager's hand. Walking straight past him. Goncharenko then approached Musa and reportedly told him he would sit on the bench forever. That was dangerous. That was a dangerous thing.
I didn't pick up this story because of CSK Moscow. It doesn't concern me. It's a walk-up.
Yes, because also we saw in our papers recently when they're saying, oh, the players have to be fit. And I'm like, don't the players know that they have to be fit?
Here's the problem with it. The person that was talking about it is just trying to recover from an injury, and that's where the problem is. Iwobi just came back from an injury against us, so it is the injury. When he's saying they have to be fit, he's not talking about they don't have to have pot bellies. He's just saying that, guys, whatever you do, just protect yourself. The trophies are already gone. Okay, chances are any trophy you're contending for is done.
So maybe Musa should be sitting on the bench.
So try, but what it is Musa's attitude sucks. You have to remember that he went to Leicester City and he failed there. Woefully on and off the pitch.
Oh dear.
Let's not even go. I don't want to go to off the pitch because that doesn't really concern me. But on and off the pitch, he failed. And so CSK Moscow is your second chance at redemption. And considering the fact that you've dropped down the pecking order in the Super Eagles, there's really no bright spots in your career right now. How about you just take it a little more seriously?
So what do you think is going through his mind? Why is he acting?
Maybe my annoyance would be that maybe he doesn't want to be in Moscow, which is why he moved to England in the first place. So maybe he doesn't want to be in Moscow. So maybe he's acting it out, or this is the fear that is even worse. Maybe he's just not informed, having sat on the bench for so long in England. Either way, the attitude does not help.
You should just pick up.
And he should have a better attitude so he can get more playing time, which would help him.
What will happen is, if you have the right attitude, you can dig yourself out of the hole, get back into good form in time for the World Cup, and win for Tega Onojaife, because you obviously don't want to win for yourself. Just try and win for me. But he has the wrong attitude. He's in the wrong form. It's just not a good place for him to be. So I hope the coach has come out to say this publicly. He said it to the media. I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way, like he's being thrown under the bus. I hope he takes it as a warning and say, you know what, Musa, you need to get back in shape. You need to get back to the top of your game. Otherwise, your career is pretty much over. You don't want your career to be over at this stage. No,
you do not.
Not like that.
Very quickly, message up on WhatsApp. We've Twitter, excuse me. Ayodele Okufalami says, Tega, does LeBron James train only to be the buzzer? He even told us not to try it at home. Hashtag King LeBron James.
It's really close. Now, Tony Bellew sets his sights on fighting Tyson Fury and Andrew Ward after his stunning 5th round stoppage of David Haye. Now, Bellew is actually 35 years old, delivered 3 knockouts or knockdowns rather on his way to a second heavyweight win in 14 months over his rival and fellow Brit at London's O2 Arena. He said he would meet British former world champion Fury at a heavyweight, but only if the bout happened soon. In his words, Ward thinks he can beat me silly. I will knock him out. Bellew said American Ward wants the fight despite being retired. Ward thinks he can beat me silly. He's repeated again, I will knock him out. Do you think he's bragging really?
Well, it's not his fault. I mean, David Haye has really given him something to brag about. I remember saying before this fight that David Haye shouldn't have taken the fight. His body is obviously... Look, you need to see the difference in these two men. You see, David Haye is buffed up, 6-pack. David Haye is an advanced Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, the 6-pack is there.
Cosmetically nice.
Cosmetically nice. The chesticles are out there. I don't want to call it Takubi, but it's there.
One and the same.
It's just,
meanwhile, I was looking at Ronaldo thinking, you're not a young man anymore.
You know,
you want to die on the line. You're not a young man.
I mean, everything on his body was well fit. Bellew looks like a slob. So how do you explain to a little boy that's looking at both men and saying that guy with 1-pack beat the guy with 6-pack? How do you want to tell? But I mean,
it can be.
The body, David Haye's body already retired many years ago. Like David Haye's body closed. The market shut down. You know, they sold the property. But
I'd be feeling bad if I was there.
But David Haye now decided he should be ashamed of himself because he's staying his record. If you ask me, the last time he walked away, just stay away. I think what this is that maybe he did not look like most athletes. He did not plan to walk away when he did, so he's coming back for the money. Like win or lose, you're going to win something either way. But the shame and the stain on the record is not something. How can Bellew beat you twice? Not Tyson Fury.
Bellew, big belly Bellew.
And he knocked him down. It wasn't like he knocked him down.
He packed an experience, really.
His body gave up. His body just couldn't stand. And so because the first 2 rounds, David Haye took it clearly. But after that, the body was like, I want to sleep.
Come back. There is more sports conversation right here inside the locker room, so don't go anywhere.
Right now, you're listening to Smooth 98.1. Welcome to Football Masters. Let's have your say.
It's me, April.
Johnny Gill has come here before, and I did not
and he won with 29
not on our
goals.
belt.
As of now, the highest goal scorer has 31 goals. And also,
can you please give me my other headphones
only 2
from
players
the
have been giving red cards this season.
Thank you, Gio. Thank you. Open your Google app.
Mine is by
search
the
it here. Tap on
Mine is by
stats
the
to see top scorers, assists, and all the stats. Also tap on standings to see team positions and more. It's all there with the Google app.
I can also barely tell you the top and bottom 4 on the league table.
Oh yes.
It's like there's something here that wants to get out. That's why I keep saying
it. Because they are whole flaked cornflakes. Whole flaked cornflakes are made by a natural flaking process that retains all the natural goodness of the whole corn for whole nutrition, whole taste, and whole crunchiness for the whole family. So next time you're eating cornflakes, make sure it's whole flaked Nasco cornflakes. Nasco cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime.
If you need a loan for your house, rent or car, you can get it easy with on the go. If you're out of cash and payday is far, or you need to pay school fees for the kids, pick up your phone or log on to Page Financial.
Yeah, I've been fighting. My body has been fighting that cold from last week. That's why I slept the way I slept this weekend. So I started taking extra vitamin C. Yeah, you should really up it. I don't play my vitamin C dosage. Like once I start feeling slight or anything,
on Page Financial Services, visit www.pagefinancials.com.
Yeah, 1,000 milligram strength.
for Subway quickly. Even the fastest way to get you for your time.
Jumia Food can bring you the food you love delivered fast. With over 200 restaurants including the likes of The Place, Ghana High, and Jednik, we'll bring you the food you've been dreaming of. Download the free Jumia Food app or visit food.jumia.com.ng today. Jumia Food, the food you love delivered fast.
Okay, let's ask. I don't know why when people try to call you, why they don't send text messages when you don't pick up.
Hi, this is
It's very frustrating. Because this sleep I slept, I just remember now that Shola called me over the weekend.
You don't have to go
But
to
I
work.
just forgot about
Love is
it
binge
because
watching
there was no
Family
message,
Guy
no
on a
anything.
rainy day while sipping on your favorite
Okay, I'll
beverage.
see you today.
The Irish. Giggity. Love is finding money in your shirt pockets days before
Okay,
payday.
we're back in
Love is smooth.
studio. We are your love music, love life station. You're tuning in and listening to Smooth 98.1. It is the locker room right now, so we're talking more sports here with Tega. How you doing, Tega?
I'll be better.
Yes, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. So up next, let's talk about Chelsea. How Antonio Conte has said that Chelsea will fight until the end, despite facing great difficulties this season. Now, Oliver Giroud's header gave them a 1-0 win over Liverpool at Stamford Bridge and kept them in the hunt for a Champions League place. So Conte said this: "For sure, today was a must-win game against a strong team, a really good team, and our target is to try to finish the season in the best way possible, to try to fight and to make the best satisfaction of our fans. In the league, we are struggling. We are struggling a lot for many reasons, but despite the great difficulties of the season, we are still alive and we want to fight until the end."
Well, why do you say in the league we are struggling? Like he didn't struggle everywhere else. But he's right. That was yesterday's game was a real big boost towards pushing for the top four. Because now that just leaves them 3 points behind. Yes, 3 points behind Liverpool, and they have that game in hand against ahead of over Liverpool. So they play, I think, Huddersfield on Wednesday, and they have to win that. In fact, they have to win their last 2 games and hope that Liverpool draws or loses their last game.
That's worse.
Yeah,
you have to hope the other guy messes up.
If in order for them to get to top 4, because Tottenham, that they're 1 point behind, also has a game in hand, so that can go either way. But what it is that Liverpool, Tottenham, and Chelsea all have to win their games in order for coming in a little too late. But it was if you ask me, a well-managed game. They were able to curtail. Liverpool made the runs that they made, but defensively they were able to get some luck sometimes, and sometimes some very good defending. That was what helped them. And then on the other end, clinically, the rejected stone at Arsenal has become the savior at Chelsea. Yeah, because he's the one getting. He's getting them. He's getting them the goals, the vital goals that they need. Ultimately, so Chelsea have put themselves back in a shout. In a hunt for a top 4, and hopefully they'll be able to get it, or otherwise they have nothing else. They have the FA Cup to hold on to, but because Manchester United hasn't also won anything, that's really going to be a top drag. So I think Conte wants to try and get that top 4. What I don't know is how Liverpool manage, because it seems ever since they qualified for the UCL, they've pretty much had that game in mind, and rightly so. You should. There's a trophy at the end of that, and if they win that, whether they finish in top 4 or not, they're going back to the UCL to defend their title. So it's a bit of a distraction. I think maybe that's what gives Chelsea the edge in this hunt for top 4.
Okay, and we've got some fascinating comments here. Nathan Njoku says up on Twitter with the hashtag LockerRoom981, all of a sudden Chelsea fans are pressing calculator, doing if Liverpool lose, if Tottenham lose, if we win, even if Chelsea wins their remaining 2 games, we will still stop them because we have a very superior goal defense. When you manage your 5th position, Jare says
that's what they have to. Liverpool has to win because they have So if Liverpool has to drop points for Chelsea to qualify. And that's where it is.
Okay. Chinwe Nancy also comes in to comment on that, saying Chelsea need to win their remaining 2 games, then hope that Liverpool should drop a point, or Spurs to lose, or get 2 draws. God of miracle, where are you? She asks. Look at you guys. Look at you coming out of the woodwork. Meanwhile, Tare from Ikeja says, David Hay forgot that he is not from the root of Jesse. Wow, wow, wow. You guys are savage out here. And this is in from Emmanuel from Akoka. He says, the Lord I serve has given me hope of top 4 placement. Please let the 2 clubs that think they are good losers remain, that think they are good, lose their remaining matches. Up Chelsea. Look at all of you praying for that people's downfall. And yes, we're going to get into the Arsenal news in just a second, but let's move on with more sports stories.
So Real Madrid coach Zinedine Zidane played down an injury concern over Cristiano Ronaldo after he was taken off at halftime of El Clasico on Sunday. That's an interesting sporting game that Folu has been raving about. So Zidane says he's not great right now, but I think it's going to be a small thing. It was only a bad movement. I can't say how long he's going to be out for. Tomorrow he'll have a scan, but I think it'll be a small thing for him. He seemed to think it wasn't much. It's not a worry from the Champions League final. We're all going to be there.
That's important.
As soon as it happened,
immediately it happened, I just said, you know what? I said, Zidane, remove him now. Now. Don't let him. Don't just remove him now. Because look, I know there was a thing of pride. We are the ones that are going to stop Barcelona from beating Rome. It's of no consequence. That's campaign after election. Barcelona has already won the league title. Just take him, keep on the bench. In fact, let him sleep in an oxygen chamber till. Yes, but they Michael Jackson style. Let him sleep till it's time for Champions League final. That's where the real win would be. But going to the match, it was the goal, the equalizer that he scored that gave him that injury. Himself and Piqué just fighting to the death. First person to get the
but that was beautiful commitment though. I have to say, I was like, I die on the line, boy.
He was committed to scoring. Piqué was committed to defending.
But it was.
It was, yeah.
What? After 9 minutes goal,
not enough to cost him his
your
leg.
pride on the line.
He's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's our model.
Don't worry, he'll be fine.
He's also 7 years older than Messi. He's an old man.
Look, like I said, Ice Park, oxygen chamber, he'll be fine by Champions League final. But the game itself was quite interesting. Barcelona, I mean, for me, Gareth Bale should have gotten a red card earlier for that stamp on Umtiti. The referee didn't see it. The assistant referee just saw a foul, but he didn't see the stamp. So he saw that Umtiti was brought down, but he didn't see how Umtiti was brought down. So that Bale survived and still stayed on the pitch and came on to score the equalizer again in the second half. Barcelona were not so fortunate because Sergio Roberto's slap was pretty much visible and the referee was looking in that direction, so there was no way he could miss it.
Yes, the line of sight.
Exactly.
There was a lot of
so yes, Marcelo overreacted to help the card come out very peacefully, but it was a silly act for Roberto to commit, and he put his team under pressure. That being said, they're lucky they had the Messi who was able to take out 2 defenders and score a goal, even if I think Luis Suarez fouled the earlier person. But Messi also could have won this game for them when he had that one-on-one chance with Navas. And for the life of me, Messi is that kind of guy that thinks of what he's going to do before he does it. And the goalkeeper had committed. There was no point to take a straight shot. Usually he'll try to chip over the goalkeeper when the goalkeeper is already down. He didn't do anything that dramatic. So for me, he was a bit on and off. There were times when he was very good in El Clasico. There were times when he was just regular in El Clasico. And regular for Messi means so better than everybody else. Ultimately, it still leaves Barcelona with an unbeaten record to defend. So they look like they are really aiming for that invincible.
How many games to go? 3 games?
Yeah, that was their 35th game or 36th. Look, I've lost count.
But they are still unbeaten.
They are still unbeaten, yes.
Let's see.
That was their 35th game. They have a game in hand, and Real Madrid also has a game in hand. So let's see how that goes.
All right. Let's see if we move on very quickly. We got more stories. So Pep Guardiola and Arsene Wenger both sent their best wishes to Sir Alex Ferguson on Sunday. The former United boss, who's age 76, is actually seriously ill. He is in intensive care after undergoing emergency surgery following a brain hemorrhage. Guardiola says Brian Kidd, who is here now, was with Sir Alex for a lot of time, so a big hug, and our thoughts are with his wife Kathy and the Manchester United family. And departing Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger also expressed his best wishes to Sir Alex at the start of his farewell speech at the Emirates on Sunday afternoon after watching his side beat Burnley 5-0. He says, "Before I start, I just want to say that at Arsenal weekend, I would like to wish my fellow manager Ferguson well. Very quick.
But, I mean, the world of football was taken surprise when that news came out because he looked so healthy.
Yeah,
I guess it was a scheduled surgery.
Yeah, you understand that, but it's brain hemorrhage. And everybody just, those prayers keep flooding in. Let's see how it goes. But on the other hand, let's also congratulate Manchester. Celebrated it well, enjoyed themselves, and also Arsene Wenger, who got a guard of honor at the Emirates. It was so beautiful.
Awesome.
And then the stadium was full. All the people that emptied the stadium that made them sack him now came back to the stadium to wish him. I was like, if I was doing that, I'd be burning hell, all of you.
I guess the question: what did you think about a lot of the comments going on online about Henry not being present?
I did mention it. Let me tell you, Henry did give a eulogy after, maybe in the studio or something. That was nonsense. It was balderdash. I mean, Arsene Wenger picked it up when you were nothing in Juventus. Like, Arsene Wenger was the first person to give you a try in France. Yeah. Then you went to Europe and went to Juventus. Ancelotti made him sometimes play fullback.
Perhaps he was at a very serious event.
He was at the trophy presentation for Manchester City. Yeah. So he was working for Sky. So Sky was covering both the Arsene Wenger farewell and the title.
Oh, see, so they were covering both because somebody's argument was that Sky were only covering.
Sky also. So Sky. I don't want to be selling their stuff. Yes. They also covered that. They didn't pay me for this. Yeah. They also covered that farewell. So he could have said, "I'll be there." There was everybody else was there. Laurent, Kanu, Perez. You mentioned, and the one person that really the chief beneficiary of Arsene Wenger did not say, "Oh, I want to switch," and he would have made a better narrative for the people we are working for. Let's not mention their name again. He'd have made a better narrative for them because they would have been like, "Oh, so you worked under him." Kept saying, he was a father figure. A father figure is having a farewell, and you're at Manchester City asking Pep Guardiola tiki taka. What's wrong with you?
No, it was. I thought it was quite sad. There's
no excuse.
You just went down in all of our eyes. But let's quickly read out this message before we have to take a break. Ibrahim Hassan up on our YouTube live says Real Madrid versus Barca was a real rubber if you ask me, but it was fun watching it anyways. And says Tega, what time do you have to sleep and watch all these games and all? While Abiodun Fatai says, yeah, Tega, stop scratching your eyes. Arsene Wenger has left. Who do you think fits to be manager of Arsenal, Allegri or Enrique? We'll answer that when we come back from this break.
As Ashola tweeted yesterday, said, I think my neighbor is cutting onions.
He was emotional. Even all those are saying he should go to soccer. I was like, you guys are the one that sent him out. How dare you come to the stadium and say Messi, Wenger, get out of here, stay in your house. They filled the stadium, the same stadium that they did not fill that made them to sack him.
Look at this foolish individual.
He told me this morning that he's not well. Like that's it.
I was channeling follow a nice conversation on Friday.
Oh God, this is so bad.
Conversation that
in downtimes, fine. What makes you happy? Do it.
What makes me happy will be breakfast.
Always.
Okay, I'm joking to get breakfast. You didn't want to go again.
I was in the bathroom.
I can give you all my eggs.
Okay, sorry.
I can give you all my eggs. Oh, I brought cake.
Did you
like
know
me tell you?
90% of brain growth
Very nice
occurs in the first 5 years of a child's life? Pick
Get
4,
the
5,
behind me,
6
Sita.
grade of milk.
Large cake.
It's the egg fried.
It's that my baby cake. That one I told you that. The one I brought the next morning.
I love animals. Just see, the dog has been disturbing the cat. Disturbing the cat.
Punch in the eye.
Just watch.
Yeah!
It was an action beatdown.
That's why I like iPhone. You actually take it back to me.
I love it.
I'm telling you.
A flogging.
And that thing, their phone is just a choking.
Yes, they just extract their clothes. I remember even when I stayed with my ex-boyfriend his brother's house. And they had a cat, they're black cats. And that black cat walks around, the dog just by himself. This is how he just walk around. And I was like, why is he so afraid of the cat? He goes, no, this cat has dogs. He just looks in the cat direction and the cat just
like giving one look.
Jump around the room. Oh my God.
I'm sure if you heard what they were saying, if you could hear their language, you know
because the dog is so playful and the black cat doesn't like it. Like there's a ginger one that's like okay, that that will tolerate it. Black cat has zero patience for this dog.
Cats are snooty.
Yeah.
Very,
And
very
then someone's
pushy.
like, get a cat. I was like, why? If I'm getting a pet, I want you to love me. Not somebody that will be living his own pet life. It's okay, thank you.
Warren. Studio. We're in for the final few minutes of Locker Room and talking sports and everything in between. This next one here is talking about Napoli. Napoli all but handed the Serie A title to Juventus as they were held to a 2-2 draw by Torino at the Stadio San Paolo on Sunday. After Juve's win over Bologna on Saturday, Maurizio Sarri's men realistically needed a win to stand any hope of overhauling the leaders. But the draw means Juve are now 6 points clear of Napoli with just 2 games of the season remaining.
Why don't we just crown them champions? Because you see, here is what was upsetting. When Napoli crashed out of Europa, I actually said this was an opportunity for them to chase down the Italian Serie A title. As they crashed out, all their ambitions just crashed with that crash out. And then Juve went through a bad patch too, also crashing out of the UEFA Champions League. And there was that bad patch where Napoli just came back in and made it 1 point. At that point in time, you'd have another level of desire. You'd have another spirit of invincibility taking over the team. You had momentum. Not so for Napoli. They just, after getting it as close to 1 point as possible, they now fell apart again. So at this point in time, it's not that they've dented their title hopes. It's that they've ended their title hopes. The title hopes are over. 6 points, 2 games in a Juve is not losing that trophy. So Napoli should just end their season, go home and rest. They dropped the ball 2 weeks ago. And from then on, Juve has it, in the bag. So that's the end of it for Italian Serie A.
End of story. Wow.
Lots of messages flooding in though, so let's get to a few of them. Femi from Festac says, I'm surprised that Thierry Henry was not at Arsene Wenger's final home game as coach when his teammates were there. He's Arsenal's record goal scorer because of Wenger. If there's anyone who ought to have been there, it's him.
He has a career because of Wenger.
Yes, so he also goes on to say, I wonder who Klopp is going to blame for losing to Chelsea. The grass, the wind, maybe the weather. Interesting. While Cruz says, Tega, just brutal this morning on B-ball. Meanwhile, where is Baba Bruta? I was just watching that El Clasico and reminding myself that it's just about bragging rights, so not UCL final, because the drama was just too much. Biko, why we won't celebrate one team 5-0? Folu, I know call names though. Excuse me, why will we not celebrate? Be quiet. While we've got Bash from Yaba saying, Tega, please, is Conte not more defensive minded than Jose and Chelsea or the Red Devils? Conte is very frustrating, playing only Hazard and Giroud up front and no other support apart from Moses. Why? Please, Moses should be man of the working like a slave. Hamba.
I beg they should save him for World Cup. My nose with World Cup that is in my head now because I bought green.
Yeah.
Plenty green.
Well, James from Marine Beach says, I'm in Nigeria. If I was in England, I prefer Chelsea to go to the Champions League. But here, no, Chelsea must not qualify. I'm Arsenal. And he also says, Henry is angry with Wenger for not allowing him keep his role as under 14 Arsenal team coach and his job at Sky. You'll be alright. So is that how you behave? Gwengu says, Tega, don't get it muddled. He won the Champions League under Pep, hence he couldn't have ignored the coach under whom he won that prestigious medal, which he couldn't get under Wenger and Arsenal.
He could not even have gone to Barcelona if not for Wenger. That is the bottom line. Wenger made him the player that Barcelona started wooing. If he was roasting in Juventus playing fullback, he would have turned to Victor Moses now.
Sorry.
Well, actually, from Olodia Papa says, what if Arsene Wenger decides not to retire again? After speech, he cannot block the entrance. Block the entrance.
Close the gate.
And then this Ibrahim Hebe says, Peeps, I want to know if Henry will come to Nigeria again to come and cook jollof rice. We are waiting to welcome him. And he puts up a picture with a man holding some stones.
Wow. On top of the hour, we're talking Lagos, and there we'll give you a chance to express yourself based on one of the stories we looked at inside of Freshly Pressed. Good morning.
This guy has killed me with this picture.
I'm telling you, I thought
Who's still behind you?
Or we out to talk to you. What's it with that stuff? I'm going to rest my nose somewhere.